In this demonstration, I'll show you two foundational uses of generative AI, one of them being simpler and the other one being a bit more complex, but good places to start. First is this email that I've written to Bill Gates. So it says, and this email is about Copilot. So I'm giving him feedback on Copilot and have some questions. And of course, I know he's no longer the CEO of Microsoft. I'm just using this as an example. And so it starts with, "Hi, Mr. Gates," and I've got some examples of how I use Copilot today, and then some areas where I have questions. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Copilot, and there's two options here. I can just say draft the whole email for me or coaching by Copilot. I'm going to use that option right now. And what you'll see is that it comes back with three different categories: tone, reader sentiment, and clarity. On the tone, the first thing it says is be more professional. So it recognizes this isn't professional enough. It says the email is polite and respectful, but it could benefit from a more professional tone, especially when addressing a prominent figure like Mr. Gates. Instead of "your pal," end the email with "best regards" or "sincerely." Replace "Hi, Mr. Gates" with "Dear Mr. Gates" to show respect and formality, and so on. Then there's a section of reader sentiment, and this is really about how the reader would view this email from their perspective. So examples include the email expresses satisfaction with Copilot and poses thoughtful questions, but it could be more engaging to encourage a positive response from the reader. Add a sentence at the beginning expressing gratitude for Copilot, such as, "Thank you for developing Copilot, it has been incredibly useful." And it continues in that manner. On the clarity side, it will tell me to do things like use bullet points for lists and other suggestions. So that's one example of using Copilot directly integrated in Office. And that's one of the things that makes Copilot so powerful, is that it is integrated into all of the Office applications. If you haven't tried it with Microsoft Teams, with transcription and recording, I highly encourage you to try that. For the next demonstration, my colleague Max created a PowerPoint deck that's a single slide just for us to sell an offering that we have called Licensing as a Service. And that single slide is really useful if we're talking to high-level executives and it's us selling the offering. So it's just got a title, and then here's the slide, and essentially it just says why licensing as a service is worth a while, including the Withum CSP program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that into ChatGPT. Now, I've given ChatGPT a lot of context. Specifically, I've said, I'm creating a presentation for partners in a mid-sized 3,000 employee auditing and accounting firm that I work for. I work in a division that is more technical in nature. The purpose of this presentation is to convince them to introduce me to their audit and accounting clients, and so on and so forth. So it's giving it a lot of context about what it wants. And then I'll say, okay, send that message. And now it's saying, okay, well, let me see the content. So give me the actual PowerPoint. So I'm going to drag that PowerPoint that Max created into this window here. And then I'm going to submit that. And what it's giving me now is a whole bunch of pointers and so on. And if I scroll all the way down, then it's saying, would you like me to revise the deck with these improvements? And I'll say, yes. And now it's giving me literally slide by slide what I need to do. I took that information and I created a PowerPoint deck. And this now is talking to the partners. And so you'll see things like the problem, what your clients are facing, what our solution is, and then why you should care. So partner looks at this and goes, oh, why should I care? They also suggested a slide with a case study and then what clients get and so on. And that's the end of this demonstration.